Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something slightly different but kind of the same. Unfortunately my kite has developed a slight leak, so today we're going to do 6 simple steps to fix your kite and get back out on the water as soon as possible. Here we go. The first step is to find a bit of land and then pump up your kite. I'm going to do a bit of magic, so we ready? Whoa, that was awesome. If only it was that easy in real life. You need to close all of the valves on your kite. This ensures we can locate whether the bleed is on the leading edge or the strut once the kite has been left to deflate on its own. Okay, so it's been like 15 minutes now, and I think my middle strut is no problem, which is good because I don't have to take out the big bladder. Just as I expected, my middle strut has gone flat and all the rest are fine, rock solid. So, what we do now, we find the exact location of the leak. Hopefully it's not the bladder, but it's a valve or something. So, to do that, we need hot water, hot soapy water. So let's do that now. As you can see, bubbles are starting to form around the valve. This is a good indication to where the air is escaping within the bladder. Now we've got to disconnect the hose and pull out the bladder. Let's do that now. To do this, we just get a Phillips head screwdriver and remove these little clamps. It's fairly easy, just got to do both sides and it will pop off, like so. And you pull the tube off, and now your leading edge is disconnected from your strut. The next thing we need to do is push this little tube through the hole. This might take a bit of work to do, but a bit of wiggling around. Once you have managed to push the valve off of the bead, you then need to tie a piece of rope to it. The piece of rope has to span the length of the strut. This will come in useful later. On the duotone kites, the bladders of the struts are tethered to a loop on the leading edge. All you need to do is untie this knot to be able to pull the bladder through. Now, on the other end of the strut, you need to open it up by pulling on the Velcro strip. Then fish around inside the strut until you get hold of the bladder. Pull the bladder through the strut. You may notice that the rope we attached earlier also pulls through. This is useful for later when we need to reinsert the bladder. Once you have removed the bladder from your kite, you then need to inflate it. I used my mouth. Then, as if it was an inner tube, submerge it underwater and look for bubbles. As you can see, the bubbles from my leak are coming from the seal between the bladder and the valve. If you are not as fortunate as me and have found a hole in your kite bladder, you need to use your goodie bag found in the pocket of all duotone kite bags. In there you should find a bladder repair kit and use it as if you were fixing a bike in the tube. So you've located the leak and now we want to fix it. If like me the problem is with the valve, we now need to purchase an aqua seal. Your local kite shop will supply these. To fix the leaky valve on a budget, we first need to boil a pot of water. When ready, the valve must be completely submerged in the hot water, allowing for the adhesive to get weaker. As soon as you take it out, you must start to peel it away from the bladder. It may take a few dips to completely remove the valve. Place the bladder to one side for a moment. Then resubmerge the valve into hot water for easy removal of the leftover adhesive. It is now time to prepare for re-adhesion. The first step is to sand the valve and the bladder. I used grit 320. Once you have sanded, you must then use alcohol wipes to clean your contact points. This allows the adhesive to have a stronger bind. As you can see, I have also used masking tape to pull the bladder tight. First, apply a sensible amount of adhesive to your valve. Then spread the adhesive evenly across the whole area. Let the glue cure for 5 minutes while you repeat the process on the bladder. Carefully rebond the valve to the bladder, making sure to put it on the right way round. Find heavy objects in your house which can be used to keep pressure on the adhesive while it securely bonds overnight. Don't forget to add a sign to keep people away from your hard work. After 12 to 24 hours depending on the adhesive, you may now remove the weights. If the two sides of the bladder have stuck together, you should easily be able to peel them apart. Before we reinsert the bladder into the kite, we need to make sure the seal is airtight. We do this by blowing it up one last time and running it underwater, looking for bubbles. Now, using the rope guide we created earlier, we must now reattach it to the bladder. This allows us to pull the bladder through the kite. Make sure that the bladder is neatly laid out behind the strut. This will remove the chance of kinks once inserted. On the duotone kites, we must then use a long stick to poke a small rope through the tether we undid earlier. We must then pull it through the hole where the valve should be. For this, I used a glow stick and electric tape. Next, you need to tie the small string at the end of the bladder to the new, smaller guide rope. Pull this through and reattach it to the loop we took it off earlier. Once you have located the valve, pull it through the hole and make sure it is on the bead. Reattach your hoses in the same way we disconnected them earlier. Then pump your kite up and leave it for 30 minutes. Let's briefly go over the 6 steps again. Step 1. Blow up the kite and close all valves. Step 2. Remove the one pump system and bladder. Step 3. Locate the hole using water. Step 4. Fix the leak and leave for 12 to 24 hours. Step 5. Reinsert the bladder. Step 6. Blow up your kite and leave for 30 minutes. The kite's been pumped up for a while now and it has stayed inflated. The final step, and some would say the best step, is to go for a shred. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you on the water.